Greetings and salutations, everyone. This is ZillaFan85. I, of course, represent YouTube's bargain basement of the airwaves, and we are back today. This is the first video of the new year for me here, so Happy New Year to everybody. Today, a nice treat. This, of course, being 2025, we are going to go ahead and take a look at my Bandai Movie Monster Series Godzilla 1955 figure. So this figure, of course, based on the 1955 version of Godzilla from the film Godzilla Raids Again, and that, of course, being the 70th anniversary of that film, I figured this would be a good time to go ahead and knock this guy out. So I thought this would be a good way to jump into the year for you guys. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into it here. And by the way, I know Godzilla Raids Again is, at the very least, very hit and miss for some people. I happen to personally love it. It's one of the higher ranked Godzilla films on my list, but I know it's not everybody's giant lizard, but I certainly love it. Anyways, let's go ahead and start with the card that he came with, the tag. So you guys can see here, nice little money shot of Godzilla taking on Anguirus. So from the film here, very, very cool little image there. And of course, we got the 2023 release for when this actually came out. Of course, the Godzilla Raids Again, Godzilla 1955, in Japanese and English here. As you guys can see in the inside with the write-up legal jargon, mainly in Japanese, as you guys can see, and then a little silhouette. Of course, Godzilla 1955 again there. And some more write-up information. Of course, the Godzilla trademark. And then on the back here, another little silhouette here, the dorsal spines. And some more information in Japanese. And, of course, Japanese Movie Monster Series, and then in English on the side there. And, of course, Toho, made in China, and Bandai there. Look-see. You guys can see the front again. So, very, very cool. Let's go ahead, though, and jump into the figure review itself here. So, with the paint and the detail starting with on Godzilla here, looking at the face, I'll bring him in closer. So, you got the nice whites for the eyes and the black for the pupils there. Very, very indicative, very signature of that 55 Godzilla design. You've got the etched in teeth done for Godzilla. This is, of course, a closed mouth figure here. But you guys can see the etched in teeth there. And of course, you got the two front fangs, those dragon teeth, if you will. Those look really cool. That's very signature of the 55 Godzilla, having that look about him. Got the nostrils etched in there. So the teeth done in sort of an off-white bone color, I would say. And then, of course, you got the signature charcoalish gray for the skin tone here. Again, like I said, the nostrils, and you got some of the wrinkles and scales done along the face there. You got the ears on the sides. You guys can see, because this Godzilla did have ears. They kind of took that away in the later Showa films, but these first couple, though, at least you have those. And I wish that they would have kept that throughout, just to... just because I like that look for Godzilla. But nonetheless, though, and you got some of the rivets on the top of the head there, as those sort of go down into the neck, into the dorsal spines here. We'll take a look at these dorsal spines, actually. These are done in a almost sort of smoky gray color. There's a little bit of hint of the charcoalish gray in the center parts, but mostly done in, like I said, that sort of smoky gray. Again, the dorsal spine shapes done very, very signature for this 55 Godzilla design. I know when they had released that 50th anniversary memorial box, and this figure was part of it, and that had that sort of greenish paint scheme done for his skin tone. But I remember there was like a fault with the 55 on that version, where the dorsal spines were actually flipped upside down. And I guess people were saying you had to actually see if you could pop that off and turn it around. I don't particularly, I guess there's like a glue seal where that is, that you would be able to do that. But that was on that version, obviously been corrected for this Movie Monster Series release. So not an issue here at all. But just so you guys can see that there. Again, you got all the scales running down the neck, into the chest here. Got sort of a lighter wash of gray done for the chest and abdomen area, just to give a little hint of different coloration there. But again, done in a very sort of grayscale look, but you know, that's because the film was in black and white, so it makes sense. So again, you got more of that smoky gray, like a smoky gray bone color for the claws there, the finger claws. You got the detail work captured for the hands as well on both sides, as you guys can see there. And again, more of the scales and some musculature on the arms. Again, all the scales and whatnot running down the chest and abdomen area and on the sides. And then, of course, the scales running down the legs. You got sort of these bumps for the kneecaps here. Again, sort of baggy type legs, thick legs that Godzilla is very signature of. Okay, and then, of course, got more of the scales running down and going down into the feet for the detail that's captured there. Some of the wrinkles and lines and whatnot that you've got along the feet here. And, of course, again, more of that smoky gray bone color done for the toe claws as well. You guys can see that detail look. And on the bottom side, fairly plain, but this is where you got your, as is very signature, you got your trademark information, so your copyright Toho Limited on that foot, and then of course this foot having the Bandai China trademark information there, so you guys can see that. And then of course looking at the tail, so you got the scales running down the tail there, and of course the dorsal spines as they taper off and get smaller here, and these sort of also, so you got some of that smoky gray color for the dorsal spines that starts out on the tail and then sort of tapers off into more of the charcoalish gray there. And then of course the tail as well, you got all the line segments done throughout all the different parts of the tail there as it runs all the way down on the top side and the bottom side of the tail. We got smoother detail work done for the bottom side of the tail, but you still have all the lines and the segments captured throughout the tail there, as you guys can see. So really looks very cool. I like it. So definitely, I personally really like the 55 Godzilla design. I know it's hit and miss for some people. I will say, like, the front facing sort of portrait view, he looks a little bit on the scrawny side, this particular design, which when they designed it, when Eiji Tsuburaya and company designed the suit, they made it slimmer on purpose from the Shodai, the 54 Godzilla suit, and they did that because they wanted Haruo Nakajima, suit actor, to be able to move around more freely and be able to do battle with Anguirus in the film and whatnot. So I do understand where they're coming from that. But I do give you the fact that when you look at it, like I said, from this front-facing portrait view, it does look a little bit odd and a little bit on the scrawny side. However, when you look at him, to me personally, from like the side profile view, the sort of landscape side profile view, this, he really looks awesome from this point of view here. So that's how I personally feel about this Godzilla. So, but I do like the design as a whole. So anyways, that captures it for the paint and the detail. As far as the articulation, again, in Bandai Movie Monster Series, so basic, nothing at the head, neck area, but the arms do rotate here, and these can go a full 360. They don't really hit, not too much rubbing up against the skull. You can always sort of shift it a little bit, the arm, as you rotate it, but you see it does go pretty freely on both sides. So that's good there. And then, of course, you have rotation for both legs, or they join into the hips. And these can rotate a full 360. They do rub up against the backside where the tail joins into the body a little bit, but you can still get it to work without too much muss or fuss. So and then nothing at the tail. I think that's a glue seal here. I don't break those. So just very basic 4 points of articulation, arms and legs. So nothing to write home about, but standard affair for a Bandai vinyl figure. And then as far as sizing goes, go ahead and get out the ruler here for you guys. And you guys can see, so this Godzilla stands just, I'll bring the camera a little bit closer in for you guys. So he stands, really it's just above 6 inches in height. I know the camera doesn't always capture that the greatest, but I'm looking at it in real time here, and it's a little bit above 6 inches. So standard affair for your 6 to 7 inch figures that he'll size in with. And just as a size comparison, I do have his counterpart for the film, but we'll review that probably my next figure review video itself. But for this video, we'll just go ahead and compare him against the 1954 Godzilla. This is the SH Monster Arts version. So you can see that figure. That figure is around the 6 inch range as well, but it is a little bit on the shorter side, so you guys can just see how they look together. And I still think it's pretty good overall. I mean, obviously, like I said, he does have some height on him, but, if you had like the Bandai, vinyl version of this, that would be more comparable. But that's how it looks with the SH Monster Arts 1954 Godzilla, just as a little size comparison for you guys. I still think it looks pretty good nonetheless. And I love both of these designs. I really, really love that old school look for Godzilla. But then again, I am a Showa guy anyway, so. All right, so I'll move him out of the way. Now, as far as pricing, again, obviously you're already looking at aftermarket for this guy. I do still see it pop up from time to time on Amazon, where you can get it for roughly the retail price, which is about $30. So if you're lucky, you can pick them up there. Otherwise, if you're going to try to get them on eBay or a website like that, you're going to pay a little bit more. I'd say, from what I've seen, at least $40 and up. And of course, it depends on if you get it with the tag or not. So you guys just got to keep that in mind. It's a little pricey, but, still certainly you don't have a lot of options for the 55 Godzilla. So if you're willing to, shell out the funds, I definitely think this figure is well worth it. I think that about wraps it up for this video, folks. I do want to let you guys know I was speaking with Nick Adam from the Monster Report, and Everett from Godzilla Fan Freaks. We are planning to do, at the time of this recording, we are planning to do a live stream tonight called Talking About My Generation. We're going to be talking about stuff that we grew up with, so not just Godzilla and Kaiju stuff, but all sorts of things. So like, He-Man, Ninja Turtles, Power Rangers, etc., etc. So if you guys are interested, that will be tonight at the time of this recording, like I said, this being January 19th, 2025, and it's going to be 8 o'clock Eastern time. So if you guys are interested, definitely feel free to tune into the stream. Other than that, though, folks, I would like to thank you guys so much for watching. If you would like to subscribe, please feel free to do so. If you would like to like or comment on any of my videos, please feel free to do so as well. And just remember, until next time, ladies and gentlemen, you be good to yourselves, and sayonara.